Fill her up.
You're listening to the GaS Digital Network.
I think that I can, if I close my eyes, then no one can see me. I can hide and seek. If I go like this, I'm hiding.
Make the joke. Make the obvious joke.
What?
Then no one can see you all the time.
Oh.
If you've
Yeah.
ever thought about telling Mike a blind joke, he's heard it. So if you think you're original, you're not.
That one was original.
Yeah, but like the fans aren't going to come up with anything original.
Well, we like that.
Bring us in.
It helps establish a good foundation.
That's extremely generous.
Hello and welcome to GaS Digital Now, the only GaS Digital wrap-up show, the official GaS Digital wrap-up show. I'm Blind Mike, and that's Natalie, and we have a lot to talk about today, don't we?
We do. I want to talk about Zach's morning zoo this week. I want to talk about
The Regs.
the Regs. There were a couple moments on the Regs that were specifically relevant to me, as well as a job-related question from Dark Holes.
Ooh.
What do you have?
We have to talk about Colum Tyrrell's Bachelor party on
Yeah.
Legion of Skanks. And we have to at least get into a little bit of Legion of Skanks is now in the Rogan sphere.
Yeah.
Shout out podcast cringe. This is like podcast cringe, but except we're the cringe.
Yes. So is Podcast Cringe a YouTube show where they talk about cringy things that happen on podcasts?
We'll explain. And then on TTI, I had a sort of a hypothetical for you.
Okay, I like it.
But it's less insufferable than normal.
Love it. You
It
said my
sparked
boy
debate.
was on.
It sparked debate. Yeah, and he's gonna be on Skanks too.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Hell yeah. We'll talk more about that on this episode because there's a couple of people that Mike is like, oh, your boy was here. And then I like name 4 people and he's like, no, your other boy.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we have a little
And
bit of...
normally it's Napoleon Emil.
Yes.
It's normally her boy.
That could be my boy. I know Napoleon. It's not that far of a reach. If you were like Tony Hinchcliffe, that's your boy, I'd be like, no. Tony doesn't know who I am.
What if I said Jeff Arcuri?
All my friends like Jeff Arcuri for some reason. I've never seen him do stand-up, but I'm like, how do you know who that is? I know who that is. They never know who any of my people are. This is what you get because
Thumbnail time.
No, I don't like that my bra is sticking out.
What the hell?
We're gonna sit like this.
Now you look like you just suffered a tragedy and you have a Red
I've been
Cross
wrapped.
blanket.
All right, we'll see if this comes out. We hung out this weekend.
Oh yeah. Let's
So you're gonna
talk
hear about
it.
our life for a minute. Should I do it? It's my story, right?
Oh well, okay. So I'm gonna preface this by saying everyone I've told this to, I've started it by saying this weekend I went to my girlfriend's wedding. Like that's a funny way to put it.
That it's funny. Did you get anyone with that?
Yeah.
Who?
No one.
Oh, bummer. Very good.
I wasn't expecting that line of questioning. I
They'd
expected
be
to
like,
be taken
what?
at face value.
They'd be like, oh, who's she getting married to? Or one of those. Yes, my dear friend got married this weekend. One of my longtime childhood friends has been engaged since November of 2023.
Oh, we should probably put those dibs in the fridge.
I did. I put them in the freezer. Mike brought me dibs. Remember dibs, everybody? The little ice cream bites? They were very good.
Dibs is what everyone at GaS Digital says when there's a new female comedian that comes in to record.
I was going to say when a new female employee starts working here.
True that.
True dat. That's the new TTI. I'm not going to say it because then we're going to have to ding.
Well, you are a ding bat.
So this weekend, my friend got married. She's been engaged for a really long time, and I've been in her bridal party since, like I said, 2023. I was a different bitch then. We were saying that at the rehearsal. You were not at the rehearsal dinner, but at the rehearsal dinner, I was like, I'm a different bitch than I was when you invited me. Because we were like...
Yeah, now you're son of one.
He's working. He's working, everybody. He's working hard.
The gears are churning.
Yes, they are. Churning is in they're like kind of grinding against each other and they're like damaging the insides.
No, it's like butter.
Oh, okay, got it.
The thoughts are like going up and down.
Being churned. Yes. We were like kind of just hooking up secretly when she first invited me to this.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me at the time, she was like, if you guys are dating starting soon, he can come to the wedding. Because I don't want any like rando quick
riff-raff
short-term boyfriends at this thing. So he did make the cut. It has been long enough that
if only I had made a haircut.
It's this one. You got a haircut.
I know.
Your hair looks nice.
It was a pun.
It was a bun, a man bun. Yes, so Friday night obviously was the rehearsal dinner, and
wait, tell them this. The wedding was at 11 a.m.
Yeah, the wedding was at 11:30 in the morning.
Yuck.
So we had to get up. I got up at 4:30, and I actually shared a hotel room with the bride and the maid of honor because it was very, very close to where I live.
Yeah.
And so I didn't need a hotel for very long. I just needed it because we were getting up mad early that day. Yeah, I got ready at like 8:30 in the morning, something like that. They finally finished my hair and makeup. And my dad made the joke the next day because I hung out with my family for Father's Day the next day. He was like, both the weddings that I've had, I'm like, why does she look like a drag queen? Why did you put so much fucking makeup on her? And I had to explain to him that like it's so that it looks good in photos later. Like when you like it's caked on there so that when you have the nice lighting and the photography on photo, it looks great. Yeah, and that did happen to me too. Thank you. Mike bonded with my mom's friends because since I was in the wedding, we couldn't meet up until the reception. So he got there. He met up with my mom and her friends. He met my uncle Steven from Chicago.
Not your real uncle.
Not my real uncle. Yes.
Unc.
Yeah, Unc Steve. Yes. And
it was a danger.
It was a danger. You're right.
Do you know what a danger is?
Can I infer that it's a day rager?
Uh-huh. You could infer that, but you'd be correct.
Jake and Amir type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think of them? He hung out with my mom has had the same friends since college, and they get kind of rowdy when they're together.
Yeah, I was saying that I hope that happens with my group of college friends.
Yeah.
Which, foreshadowing, may have occurred recently.
Really?
So we got active, fellas.
At the wedding?
It was. It's got to be 12 p.m. somewhere, is what we said.
That's true. Here's the thing, guys. Mike loves to dance. Everyone knows this about him. Everyone knows that Mike loves to dance. There's footage of him dancing everywhere on the internet.
Is there?
Yeah, all over Tim Butterly's story.
Oh,
whenever you dance, it's Butterly hears about it.
Well, he is my coach.
That's true. Yeah, there's plenty of video of you breaking down on the internet. Not anymore. Most of it was on stories, but it was stories of people like Tim Butterly, who a lot of these people probably follow. And that's why I was
bust a move more than bust a nut.
I'm not going to elaborate on that. I was very excited to take Mike to this wedding because he loves to dance.
And let's just say, to be able to access that side of me in front of strangers that I've never met, you need a little bit of goofy juice.
I was impressed. You held it together. You were very good. You said you weren't going to drink, and you did anyway.
Uh-oh.
But then you...
I said that I was going to
Not get fucked up.
Yeah, I was going to pace myself because it was during the day and I don't know these people and your mom's going to be there, so I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah, you handled it very well.
And so I inferred that as let me babysit 5 rum and cokes.
5's a lot. You say babysit. 5 is a lot. It wasn't that long.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Although I guess that's like, what, 1 per hour?
Yeah, about.
That's fair. That's fair. You handled yourself very well, and he was fucking dancing. He loves to dance.
Yeah.
I was saying, because I was alternating between dancing with you and dancing with like the other group of bridesmaids, which was like closer to the front by the bride. The band was killer, and my friend was saying that she was like, the one girl was super pregnant who was in the band, and she was like, I'm gonna be really pissed if this girl's not at this, because that happened to her with her photographer, where her photographer was also giving birth, and so she sent in like backup.
It's interesting omen for herself.
For her, yeah, right? So this lady was mad pregnant, and she was getting down. She was doing great. She was like, I'm ready to induce labor. And anyway, the band was great. But I was alternating.
Wait, what I thought was funny about the band name was that it was the most wedding band name ever, which
it was like
Electric Avenue.
It was
I'm pretty sure it was Electric Avenue.
I think it was Electric Sun, because Electric Avenue is a song. I think it was like Electric Boulevard or something.
Yeah, it was like
that.
Electric Boulevard. It was like something very Josh Adam Myers.
Yeah, totally. I would get toward the front with a group of like other bridesmaids and groomsmen, and I was like, I would bring Mike over, but I feel like he needs the wingspan. If you
mostly because I'm blind.
Oh yeah, but like,
what do they call that with like a truck when it's backing up? You have to give it like clearance.
Clearance, yes, he needed clearance. If you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you.
Like a forklift.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Mike was getting down. We both looked great. Maybe I'll include a picture if you're lucky, guys. But it was great. It was a fun day. It went off without a hitch.
Yeah. I recommended American Loser to Natalie's stepdad, and he was very excited about it.
He loves talking about World War II.
So if he likes it, you should too.
Exactly. Check it out. That was great. And then I had like Skankfest illness afterward. Like I was really sick that night in a way that like I got over really quickly. It was not sick. It was just like worn out.
The itis.
I got the itis. Yeah, exactly. I had like festival funk. Like I was just like exhausted and also like had chills and needed to go to bed at like 9 p.m. But I was recovered the next day.
I was gonna say also with the drinking, I made sure to pace myself with water.
I did that too.
Which helped me not feel like shit as I went to bed.
I did that too because I woke up that morning before the wedding hungover because I had a lot of wine at the rehearsal dinner.
Girl.
And of course it's the wine too. And also I have this problem historically.
American Loser.
Very good. Where I was, if I'm in a place where there's free wine, usually there's a bottle of red and a bottle of white, something Billy Joel lyrics, and then everyone drinks the white, and now the red is open but full. And I go, well, I feel so sad. Yeah, I feel so. Yeah. I'm like, I feel so sad for this poor bottle of red wine that no one wants, but now it's open, so they can't put it back. I'm like, I'll take some of it, and then I had.
You know what, guys? I'll do it. I don't want to make anyone else have to suffer.
I'll take one for the team, and especially if you hang out with a lot of women. Not a lot of women drink red wine.
Really?
Yes, they mostly go for white. From my experience.
Yeah, I think that's fair because you would see a lot more like crusty child Kool-Aid stain on the lip if they did.
Yeah, true. But yeah, so I was hungover the morning of the wedding. I got over it pretty quick, but I paced myself pretty good at the wedding. And I was sober by the after party because of course the after party was at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Because the wedding was at noon. And we hung out we held it together for a good hour, and then I was like, we are going home. I'm exhausted. Then we watched Defunct Land videos. Can you move that way
Ooh.
a little?
We also watched Ocean's 11.
That was last week.
We talked about that then.
We did.
Oh.
You forget?
Yeah.
Were you drinking during that podcast?
Oh boy.
Do you have any studio lore? This is my first time in the studio all week. I even missed the in-person meeting. That's part of the problem, privilege. It really is.
Well, he hates privilege.
True.
Well, first of all, for full curtain pull, I'm house sitting.
Yeah.
And so I was trying yesterday. Well, and I also I came from, because it was Father's Day, I came from Philly up directly to Colum's bachelor party. So I was too tuckered out to work out on Monday. So I was trying to squeeze in a lift yesterday.
Right.
And I'm 2 sets in. It was leg day, and I was doing squats and deadlifts. And I get a text from my friend Matt. And he goes, "Rufo, I'm 2 blocks away from you." And he was
from
like,
you where? At the gym?
Yeah. Which is
Oh, yeah, here.
around the corner. And he was like, "Pull up." And I was like, "All right, let me just wrap up what I'm doing, and I'll come over." And so that took it. I never want to pass up the opportunity to hang out with my college friends to try to emulate your mom.
Right.
So, yeah, I showed up, and my other friend who's moving to Jersey City from Philly was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we were catching up, and, time got away from me. Well, we went to a dive bar around the corner from here.
Cute.
And we were discussing...
Wait, mute yourself. Real quick, hit your button. You can unpress. Okay, I don't even know where that is. You don't have to describe its relevance to here, but I'll have to look it up. And I like the name. I like that it has lounge in the name. That's cute.
Yeah, so we had a couple of debates. One of them, the first one wasn't. It was less of a debate and more of, it was the question at hand was, what separates a dive bar from a pub? And they asked me that when I showed up, and I said, okay, so
I have an opinion, but I want to hear yours.
Dive bar typically does not serve food.
That's what I was gonna say.
Also, you are much less likely to run into people who are looking for a fight at a pub.
Interesting.
And the third one was, this is not outside of New York City, if we're considering the grand scope of things.
Right.
I feel like at a dive bar, you are much more likely to have the bartenders look the other way if you smoke at the bar rather than at a pub.
I agree. I think that the food is the main one for me, which is if you're eating popcorn and a handful of peanuts, that's a dive bar. But if you get anything from a hot pretzel and up, that's a pub.
Yeah, with the beer cheese.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of the defining factor. And a dive, but they both have very dim lighting. Mm-hmm. But I would say that if your feet stick to the floor, that's probably a dive bar.
Oh, true.
But if not necessarily, but more likely,
Yeah, if the lighting in the establishment is less about ambiance and more about hiding the people that are inside the bar,
yeah,
exactly. Then that's a dive bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be at a dive bar.
Yeah.
If you...
Sorry, tangent, unrelated, but no, never mind. It's so unrelated that it's not even worth bringing up.
Okay. So little other bits of studio lore.
Point that way a little more. There you go. Perfect.
Shannon got a new perfume that I got to smell.
What is it called? Do you remember?
No, but she was apprehensive about it because it did not smell traditional,
Right, like what she usually wears.
unconventional.
Oh,
But
I
it was,
can't
like,
wait to run
sweet.
into her. I can't wait to run into her and find out. And
It
I
was
would love
like
to know what it
a
is.
sweet smell, and I told her that I don't like. I'm not a big fan of flowery perfumes, so I particularly like that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
They recorded. So another full curtain pull.
Full curtain pull.
So they recorded HSR on Tuesday. Well, we had the in-person meeting first of all.
Uh-huh.
We'll get to that in a second, but because of that, they recorded HSR on Tuesday before TTI,
Right.
and TTI was on HSR.
Oh, cute. I love that.
So Fig started drinking at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
or 3 p.m. and he was hammered for TTI. But TTI comes out first, so you just see him showing up drunk and not seeing the full context
not getting
of
why.
Chris Vega making him do, shotgun Natty Ice.
Right, making him. Yeah, all right. That's very funny, and I like that a lot. Almost makes me wish I went to the in-person meeting, but I never wish I... Just kidding. I actually like the in-person meeting. I just hate the meeting part. I like the fact that we're all together, though.
Yeah, there was some collaboration going on. We played GaS games.
Oh, that's nice.
And once again, I forgot how to play Spyfall and froze up like deer in the headlights.
I'm bad at that one.
Until I remembered how to ask a question in the game, which took a couple of minutes.
Right.
It's
So you were the spy?
One. No.
Oh, got it. So you were almost doing the opposite, where you looked guilty because you didn't know how to play, but then
Correct.
You weren't. That's very funny.
Caroline played.
Oh, I like Caroline. Caroline and I go way back to Himbos together.
Yes.
We were the team. I forget what they called us. I think it was just Care Bear and Natalie, the bionic bisexual.
Yeah.
Nice, cute. Almost makes me wish I was there again, but was busy.
And I can't think of any other studio.
That's okay. We can get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
We'll start with Monday.
I was also going to say the other thing that we were debating.
You guys see that bug?
Where?
Oh, I did that.
What?
I squashed it. It's right here now. Yo, you guys saw that happen. That's crazy. That gross. That's crazy. I caught that. This is so much better than last week where I freaked out and didn't catch it.
Yeah, this is your Karate Kid moment.
Exactly. All right, tell us about Skanks.
Well, first I was going to say the other thing that we were talking about at the bar was we were debating
oh yes, I forgot.
Legacies.
Meaning?
Of premature deaths of artists.
Sure.
So Matt was giving the argument for why Jimi Hendrix was the best example of someone whose life was cut short.
Meaning that he could have gotten really great.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think that part of the allure, although I will defend my girl Amy Winehouse, but I would say that Nirvana would have moved on to become the Foo Fighters, I think.
I made the argument that I think there would have been infighting in Nirvana and potentially a breakup because of
I think there would have
artistic visions.
I think there would have been a breakup, but I think that Kurt Cobain would have gone on to make what is now considered dad rock. Like, I think that even though the timing now is right, that Nirvana avoids the title of dad rock, even though Weezer gets it and the time periods are very close.
Pearl Jam gets it.
Exactly. It's like Nirvana would have been not forever adolescent, but would have continued to be moved on to be like, now there's old guys playing this music.
Yeah.
You know?
I said I wanted to see what Freddie Mercury would have cooked up.
I agree with that. Although they had a pretty prolific career.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What
Yeah.
else was there?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They
and
would have been Elton John now.
Elton John rules.
Yeah, Elton John's great. Love him. Saw him live.
You were like 4.
No, I saw him live like 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
I thought you were. That's the story about your. I don't know. The other one.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
The other one that I mentioned, and I was quickly
Shot down?
shot down is the best way to put it. I said, who would have had the better who would have built a better legacy if they were still alive? Chris Farley or John Candy, and it was a unanimous Chris Farley.
Yeah, I don't know much about John Candy, honestly.
But he has great movies.
Sure.
He was so good. We watched for Father's Day we watched Brewster's Millions.
I've never seen that.
It's a good one.
Nice.
Richard Pryor.
Oh, got it. Cool. Do you
Surprisingly good actor.
Oh yeah, for sure. We can move on to the shows. It's almost half an hour.
I know. I just wanted to.
I was gonna
also
ask you
tell you
questions
that.
about your Father's Day, but I'll just ask you off air.
Yeah. Daddy's Day.
Daddy's Day.
Okay, so
I cooked a salad.
on Legion of Skanks, speaking of weddings, it was Colum Tyrrell's bachelor party.
I considered going. Oh, I got drinks with a friend of mine in New Jersey instead. I had real plans. If I had done nothing and I was just lazy, I probably would have pushed myself to go. But if I've been trying to get drinks with a friend of mine for a couple weeks, and the only day she could do was Monday, so I kept it.
I'm sure the fans were dying to know that.
Well, I'm sure the fans were dying to see me in the background of this episode, obviously.
Probably. But if you had gone, you would have had to do drugs because there was a lot
Had
of
to do drugs?
them flying around.
What kind? Coke?
The white kind.
Not my kind. Your kind.
No, I like Coca-Cola
You do like Coca-Cola.
with
Yeah, you've
rum.
been drinking a lot of the Coke in my fridge lately.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're so serious. I'm kidding.
I can't tell. Sometimes people bring stuff on the air and pretend
No.
to be,
I'll bring up that you were 2.5 hours late today. That's a real one. But other
'cause
than,
I'm
but you had a
not
valid
sick.
reason. You had a valid reason. The Coke, I'm not worried about.
There was the tree got struck by lightning by my house.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I'm sorry. I take back everything I said. I want to hear about this bachelor party.
It was a rotating cast of characters
Yes.
with really poorly done handoff of said drugs.
Oh, it's supposed to be subtle, and it was not subtle?
Not so subtle. To the point where at the end of the episode, Ari Shafir throws a bag at Big J and tells him to do it, even though he keeps talking about how he never does that drug.
That's very funny.
And he didn't do it, but it was also funny because around the same time, he's talking about how he doesn't do that drug, and then he's like, I have to get up to go pee. And Lewis is like, in the 14 years we've broadcast, you've never had to pee. Why now is the first time that you have to go pee?
I feel like GaS is the king of poorly concealed drugs done on air. I mean, the figs one is the most famous one.
Classic.
Easy. You look good. You're fine. Thank you for being conscious of it. So I saw that Lev was on.
Mm-hmm. And Drew Dunn.
And Drew.
They set Drew up for failure.
Why? What happened?
They introduced him on like halfway through the show, and they're like, Drew, do that one voice that you do, like before he can even get on mic.
Annoying.
And so it was like a robot voice, and so he comes, and granted, it's a good robot voice, but it was just the timing was wrong.
Was everyone already fucked up?
Yeah, the timing was wrong, and it was just a weird way to introduce they don't really know Drew Dunn.
Right.
so it was just a weird way to introduce him to the show, and they were just like, that was awful. I don't know why you did that.
I completely forgot that, and I think I asked you this. I don't remember when they're going, but bride and groom of the wedding that we went to, bride, my friend, texted me a couple weeks ago and goes, "Do you know Drew Dunn?" I go, "Yeah," meaning, yeah, I know him personally. Like,
Drew
I've met
Dunn.
him. Very good. He sounds just like that. And she goes, "Oh, we're going to see him. Do you and Mike want to come with?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, that's funny. I've never seen him do stand-up before. I've only ever seen him here." But I was like, "I've met him." And she's like, "Oh, you, like, know him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like, you could meet him."
Yeah.
Like, not like I'd go up to him after the show and be like, "Hey, remember the Lev First show? I was his producer. You remember me from that?" But, like, you know, I've met him enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for him in this context.
The other points of note were Ryan O'Neal was on.
Okay, I don't really know him.
They never once addressed that Lewis beat him in a fight at Skankfest.
Oh.
They boxed at Skankfest, and they never even addressed that they had been in a fight together before, which I thought was strange.
Maybe they're beyond it.
I guess, but, you know, just to, like, reference who this guy is, I just thought that was strange. And then, oh, yeah, so Big J's like, okay, before we introduce everyone, I'm gonna tell this story.
Okay.
And as he's telling the story, Ari just kind of walks on camera and starts, like, introducing everyone and just, like, starts the chaos.
Right.
It was a premature chaos.
Right.
And then so that kind of interrupted Jay's flow of the story. And so as everyone's settling back down again, he starts to tell them, they're like, "We don't care. This is a bachelor party. Why are you boring us with this story?" And it bombed.
So it wasn't even in a funny way.
What do you mean?
Like, the fact that he was getting walked over wasn't even funny in itself?
They made fun of him for it. They made fun of his story.
Right. So it was funny for the
Yeah.
episode. Okay, fair enough. Very good. Glad to hear it. Because sometimes you'd say this stuff, you're like, this was bad. Like you did with Drew, how they, like, were like, do the thing.
Well, they made fun of... That was funny. It was the same kind of funny.
Okay, nice.
Where they were making fun of them for existing. And then, so after the show, everyone's hanging out upstairs, and Lev starts walking around handing out free VIP admission to this strip club in, like, Bowery or something.
Oh, that's not that far.
And I was like, I don't have money, so I'm not going.
Fair enough. You should have gone if you had money.
Really?
Yeah, I would have let you go.
Wow, everyone. Look at her faking it for the camera.
Why would I lie about that?
Because you're in front of a camera.
Why would I even say that if I was lying?
Because you're in front of a camera.
I would just not say anything.
Sure. She's a politician.
You're so mean. Why are you making people think that I, like, lie to you on a regular basis?
We're going to bring Natalie to a strip club one of these days.
Please. Jesus Christ.
You're going
to take me to Lucky's first.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my fidget. Do you have place of your fidgets? Yours is you keep breaking the mic. I have mine.
Oh, nice.
But so overall, good bachelor party. You said the episode itself was kind of underwhelming, but it was a good hang.
No, it was chaotic in a fun way. It was just not what I expected.
Right, fair enough.
I would never say something like that.
You would never say something like you're saying that because you're in front of a camera.
Yes.
I'm gonna say in the other direction, as far as, like, an episode that I did really like this week was Zach's Morning Zoo.
Ooh, which
with
one?
Danny Polishchuk and Zayed Duji.
Yeah.
Who is actually one of my favorite guests.
Very funny.
And that's why I clicked on it. I was like, I love him. I think he's great.
Very funny guy.
And I like Danny a lot, too.
Or, as they said, push start Doogie.
Yes, exactly. This was a good hang. One of those where I was like, I wish I was part of the conversation here. Right?
Sure.
So, first they're talking about my boy Dave and how they didn't know Wigger Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I wish you guys had met Wigger Dave Smith.
I see all the photos. I see all the photos on
like
Twitter.
Posing with Cash, Dave Smith, Timberlands. Dave, dude. When I met Dave, he was a Wigger liberal Jew. from Brooklyn.
I love
Do you
that
know
band.
how good Lauren's pussy must be? He fucked Lauren and found Christ. Think about that.
Good. Some good pussy right there.
I'm like, I didn't know Wigger Dave either, but they keep mentioning it. Someone I know keeps mentioning it, like, to me, being like, and they even said it, they're like, no, Dave posing with piles of money.
I think I was telling you about that someone posted that in the Gas Digital Facebook.
So funny. Also embarrassing of you people to keep up a Facebook group.
What the hell?
So that was very funny of me. It's funny to me.
It's called a community.
It was very funny to me. As well as just there were a couple funny points. Like, I like the fact that Zach came on and was like, all right, Israel, Palestine, go. And then he was like, of course not. That's not what I have you here for. But I liked that Danny was like, you want to, or whoever of them was like, you want to switch?
Yeah.
Let's just switch teams. He's like, can I take Iran? But the conversation that I wanted to have was about, they were talking about how sad it is working the day shift at a liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, I have direct experience with this. So
Yes,
this is
you
a
had your regulars.
This is a self-indulgent segment where I tell you what it was like working at a liquor store. And when he was describing the guy who got a big bottle of Tito's and 2 mini shots of Tito's, and
Yeah.
I was like, I said out loud in the car, I was like, that's so he can drink the small ones on the ride home. And Zach
Sad.
was like, he has the small ones so he can drink them on the ride home. And I was like, that's exactly right.
For everyone who doesn't know, Natalie likes to talk to the podcast like she's having a conversation with them.
You're the conversation.
What do you mean?
Oh, you mean I do that when I listen to a podcast?
Yeah, she like barks.
So
at-
do you.
She's like a dog that barks at the TV
Shut
when
up.
it sees
So
another
do you.
dog.
You do that too. And then you get angry.
Incorrect.
Correct.
When was the last time you saw me talk back at the podcast like they were having a conversation with
Well,
me?
not like a conversation. Oh, yeah. Tom does that.
Yeah, I know. He'll listen to he used to listen to Jim and Sam in the back and be like, actually, yeah, that's right. Jay, pull that up.
I do that too. It's embarrassing to have something in common with Tom, except that we live in New Jersey. But no, you yell at it when it's not working. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, I'm yelling at my computer.
Yeah.
That's warranted.
For example, they also mentioned the 99 bananas from that episode of Skanks that you talked about.
Yeah, Sandman.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy. 99 are gross. They're nasty.
That's not a loophole.
No, it's not a loophole.
Why was he like, this is my drinking
It's that he
loophole?
drinks a gallon of water in between.
Yeah.
And either way, my favorite regulars that I had were a Miller Lite guy who would come in a couple times a day, or sometimes every other day, and get
couple
the
of times
tall buys.
a day?
Yeah. Or actually, no, maybe once a day or every other day. But he would get a couple tall boys of Miller Lite. But sometimes he'd come back more than once.
Oh, man.
And he was very nice. He never gave me any trouble. However, I do remember one guy that started coming in and getting New Amsterdam shots. You usually get the yellow or the orange ones, like pineapple or
Can't really do
mango.
the blue in small doses.
No,
not
that's-
mixed with anything.
Nasty. No, the blue ones are just vodka.
That's what I mean. You can't really do that in just airplane shots.
No, unless
You
you're
need a
serious.
flavor.
Yeah, exactly. He'd get like 8 or 9. Same thing, either every other day or like every couple days. But sometimes he would come back in for one more.
Well, yeah, because the addict is always convinced that they're going to get it together after this one. So why would I buy the full handle?
Right. Or no, actually, that's a good point because I thought of it as, and my mom said this because my mom also worked at this liquor store with me. She's like, they don't trust themselves with the whole one.
Yeah.
Because if they have the whole one, they'll finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, it's safer to just only have the shots. And I remember the guy coming back in later for an extra one and being like, my cat knocked it over or whatever. So I'm like, he made up an excuse why he lost one. But there were these dudes, same thing that would, like you said, would be
There was a hole in it.
yeah, it's same thing where they would be like, hey, I'm good for it another time. And, oh, sorry. Jorge said that to me. That was crazy. I just assigned a story to you. That was Jorge's. That Jorge told me off air earlier.
Oh.
About a guy going up to a liquor store and first thing in the morning and being like, I'm good for it. You know I'm good. Just help me out this one time. And the Indian dude working there being like, sorry. No, I can't. But there were these dudes, and the one guy tried to scam me once.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you this story?
Maybe.
So
remind the audience.
This dude, my ex used to work there, and I came to pick her up, and I was waiting out in the parking lot, and this dude came up to me and was like, what?
When she's working at the liquor store, it's your XXX.
It's funny.
Like it's a cartoon.
Oh, I was gonna say XX like Dos Equis.
Good one.
Thank you. I was waiting in the parking lot in my car, and this dude came up to me, and I didn't realize because I didn't work here yet that he was like he was not regular like Miller Lite guy. He was like
he wasn't a Regs.
No, he would just kind of linger, and every once in a while he'd be back. But he was like, hey, you have a dent in your car. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. And he's like, I got a thing in my car to pull the dent out. And I was like, no, that's okay. And he was like, I'll do it for way less than you would get it at a store. And I'm like, I have no money on me. I have no I left my wallet at home. Please leave me alone. He was like, then don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll do it for you. No money. God bless. And he starts taking the dent out of my car. And I come out and he's like taking the dent out of my car. I'm like, all right, thanks. And I like take him because I'm 20. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, if you're going to do it for free, yeah, go. I don't give a shit. Go for it. And he pops it out, and then he's like, $80. And I'm like, I don't have money on me. And he's like, there's an ATM over there. You can just get the money out. And I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? My ex came running out and was like, leave her alone. Like, what did you do to her car? I would not have been able to do that if I was by myself, you know? Anyway, it was, I rarely saw that guy again because we kind of banned him.
Yeah, I mean, sounds right.
Sounds like a bannable offense. Anyway.
I would imagine that this game would be he would put more dents in your car.
He also used some sort of paste. Not a paste. He used like a shine, like a wax. But it looked like shit. I remember that. Like wiped a bunch of wax on it. Popped it out. I was like, look at my fucking car, dude. Do you think I care about this one dent?
It was maple syrup.
Basically. This was my Ford Taurus. This is my 2003 Ford Taurus.
R.I.P.
It looks like
Lost
a boat.
to the flood.
Yeah. Didn't act like a boat.
Yeah.
Teamwork. And real quick, they told a story about a guy that died because he swallowed a bee while playing polo.
Not just anyone. Friend of the Prince William himself.
Indeed. But if you were to die in a Mad Libs style death, what would you choose?
Here's Nat's hypothetical time.
Yeah, sorry. You don't have to answer this. This was sort of a throw on.
Well, so the ways oh no, I was thinking of Madhouse. But still applies. Like a Final Destination thing. More I'm thinking here. Like that's a Final Destination death is getting stung by a bee while playing polo.
Yeah, swallowing a bee.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that is even more Final Destination.
Yeah, swallowing a bee.
Yeah, so I guess I'll be inspired by the fact that there was a tree that was struck by lightning at my house today. A tree getting struck by lightning, which knocks down a telephone wire, which starts a fire that then kills me.
I would never want to die. I get that it's fun, but I would never want to die in a fire. I was thinking like...
Oh, I heard it's a hoot. You said it. I know it sounds fun.
Oh, it does sound... Obviously, there's
How?
like 3 steps involved. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah,
that's
stop,
why you described
drop, and roll.
Boo. I was gonna say it like a piano falling on me or something. I like the idea of swallowing something. Is very
Yeah,
funny
that
to
is
me.
very cartoonish. So it would almost be like an anvil falling on your head.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah,
Sister
piano falling on head.
Child? But that's been done.
Or like getting hit by an asteroid or something.
Oh, like that one guy where it was like the little pebble that was an asteroid that like hit the guy who was walking his dog in Egypt.
It was a pebble and it killed him?
There was an asteroid that burned up in the atmosphere.
Until it was this big?
Yeah, but it was still big enough and going fast enough that it struck a guy walking his dog in Egypt and killed him.
Wow, that's crazy. That's so sad.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
No, recently?
No, this was... I knew... Like, I was told this fact in, like, middle school.
Oh, that's so funny. That's crazy. Damn. Podcast-related death.
Yeah, what about, like, someone throwing a penny off the Empire
Right.
State Building, but then that penny hits a pigeon, which angers it, and it starts pecking you?
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Well, you wanted a Mad Lib.
I like the idea.
Madhouse Lib.
I like the idea of
And it really was a Lib Madhouse this week, if you...
Why? Who was on?
Renan.
Oh, shout out Renan.
Who does not be Renan.
No, he don't.
Renan.
I had one. Oh, I like the idea of back in the day how they used to have dance contests in like the 50s, maybe the 20s. I don't remember when, that they would just be like, see how long you can dance for, and it would go on for like days and days. I like the idea of dying in something like that. Like you just danced for too long.
You dance your pants off?
And then you die. Yeah.
Damn. Okay, here's one. Being shot out of a cannon as like a punishment, a death penalty where I'm shot out of a cannon.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty fun.
A Mike Cannon. Who was on American Loser.
Are you talking about that this week?
It was a pretty good one. It was somewhat it was I don't have anything specific on it, but it was a new angle that I've never heard about the JFK assassination. I'll say that.
Was that what the episode was about?
Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet.
Well, this was a new angle with a new loser.
Oh, a new loser. Got it. Cool.
So if people aren't familiar, American Loser, while it is a history podcast, the theme is that they highlight the losers throughout history.
Right. The second place and lower people.
And so this was the guy involved in the JFK assassination that wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald or Jack Ruby.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it was fascinating, and obviously Mike Cannon was sniping left and right, which was very funny.
Pun intended?
I guess so. I didn't mean it that way, but yeah.
So not intended.
No.
Very good.
But how
good
fun would it be, like, instead of dying in a fire, which Natalie says would be fun.
I didn't say it would be fun. I said it would be awful. That's why I said you shouldn't choose that.
How fun would it be to be shot out of a cannon as like
a Mike cannon?
As like your last, it's like it's
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's up there with the euthanasia roller coaster that kills you at the end.
Ooh, like Thrillville off the rails.
Yeah.
Where it just goes into a brick wall.
I don't think that's what happens in the euthanasia coaster. It just like
snaps your neck.
Yeah, the wheels keep getting the loops keep getting tighter and tighter.
Wait.
Let's move on, I think.
I would love a tight loop.
Yeah? Around your neck?
Oh.
You want to go next or should I go next?
You should decide.
Okay, real quick on Dark Holes this week, he was talking about a guy that's being arrested / in court for committing airline fraud.
Oh.
So he is a former flight attendant.
Airline fraud sounds like the name of like a German duchess. Airline fraud.
That's funny. What are those words? Germans. What do those words actually mean? I think, Fraulein is a word in German.
So it's like you separated those two things. Airline fraud.
He is a former flight attendant. And if you're a flight attendant, you can fly other airlines for free. So he was booking flights even though under his credentials, even though he is no longer a flight attendant.
35-year-old man reportedly took advantage of a common airline policy that allows flight attendants and pilots from other airlines to fly for free. Alexander, who allegedly had worked as a flight attendant for regional airlines between 2013 and 2015, would go to various airline websites and check the flight attendant option during online check-in process. The form requires applicants to provide their employer, date of hire, and badge number. Alexander used falsified information that apparently no one bothered to check. Love it. Love it. This should be a thing you can do, though, but not like this. You can't just steal the flight, even though I think this is awesome. You're stealing from airlines. Look, like that's the part of this is no one got hurt. No one of human person got hurt. Airlines, a couple of airlines, you should be able to do this in a way where you work, though. If you work, which I'm pretty sure on one of these things, it said that he actually worked 7 different airlines. Oh, no, he claimed he worked 7 different airlines. Sorry. But if you do this, but you just pop on, like you're not really working as a flight attendant anymore, but then you put in a thing where you're like, oh, if you're short a guy, I'll come in. You should be able to you should be able to Uber flight attendant. Like I come in, you don't pay me. But I get the flight for free, and I work the thing, and I hand out the water bottles, and I do all the bullshit, and then I fuck off.
And now he's, being arrested for fraud or whatever. My question is, what job would you consider taking purely for the benefits?
Ooh, that's a good question. I was going to say that sounds like the story of the guy in China who lived off of he would live in the airport and live off of the lounge area,
right?
And somehow got free flights because he would just rebook it somehow.
Oh,
so that it would I think this scam was he would he kept just
pushing it back.
Pushing it back and rebooking to different places.
That's so funny. I love that. Good scam.
Yeah. And he got away for years, I think.
Yeah.
So strictly for the benefits?
Yeah, I was gonna say some sort of either usher or ticket taker at a concert venue. I think would be a really good one. I was thinking it about where did the Regs do their show? The Gramercy. Because every time I pass the Gramercy a lot on the way to work, and every time the marquee has something different on it. And also maybe 1/15 of the time do I know who it is. They posted recently, what's that guy that did the 3-part comedy special a while ago? No, a while ago. James Acaster, British guy. It was on the homepage of Netflix for a while.
Oh.
He was there. And I was like, oh, that's a name that I know. But most of the time it's think of if you're that's my band name. That's what it looks
Electric Boulevard.
Exactly. It'd be Electric Boulevard, sold out, or whatever.
So
I would love to be the door person there so you could just stand there and watch the show.
Yeah, I would say Irving Plaza would be way better than Gramercy.
Either way, what I mean is a ticket
real
taker.
bands go through Irving, real acts.
I kind of feel that way about working here sometimes. I'm sure you goons at home would be oh my God, you get to see so-and-so every day. I'm yeah, whatever.
I guess, but
it's kind of wasted on me, honestly.
There's 3 people at this company that I feel that way every time I see them.
Really? Who is it?
Chris, Dave, and Zach.
That you're excited to see them?
Yeah, every time.
I feel that way too, but not they're celebrities, but they're my friends. Yeah. I'm happy to see them because they're my friends. Want. But I didn't see them as celebrities first.
You
know? Like, whereas you came here and was like, oh my God, that's the Skanks.
True.
But yeah, there's a lot of fucking nerds that feel that way about me dealing with Dave every day. Dave's biggest, highest performing episode yet was yesterday's episode, by the way. Here's a little tie-in to part of the problem. Ben Shapiro finally mentioned Dave by name.
Damn.
Even though he keeps talking about him not by name. So that's really good for our numbers.
Benefits, I would say, well, it would just be nice to have benefits in general.
That's any job, dog. Any corporate job. You'd be like, wow, health insurance. I also thinking about working at like slightly high, like think of if either of us worked at like the perfume counter at like Macy's, you probably get a lot of perfume fragrances marked down. We both love a fragrance.
Or the shoe store.
That's
like a legal, like, I feel like there's a way that you could like secretly also sell shoes under the table.
I bet you could. I think about that all the time.
And the only person you get in trouble with is the company. Like, it's not like you're dealing drugs.
Well, I mean, I can see you, like, I was thinking, I'm on Poshmark a lot. If I worked at the Vera Bradley store, they probably get, like, a 50% discount, like, a lot. And you just buy a bunch of stuff for half price and then sell it on Poshmark for mostly full price. I think about that a lot. I used to work at a gift shop, jewelry store, tchotchke, girly hair accessories type store in Boston. And we got to use 50% discounts once a month, per month. Hey, guy, you want to hop on? Are you busy? Harrington's here.
Oh.
He's wearing a part of the problem shirt.
Nice.
What up, guy? Here, answer this question real quick and hop in my camera.
I'm struggling.
All right, can you answer a question?
Sure, go for it.
Is the fried chicken on the counter out there in honor of Juneteenth?
No, I completely
No?
forgot it was Juneteenth.
That's crazy. I thought you were leaving it out for Harriet Tubman.
Well, I mean, in honor of...
But maybe I could just sense the feeling in the air because I was craving fried chicken today.
Were you?
Yes, and that's why I ordered it. So maybe it was just in the air.
You got to watch out, Mike. All right, what's the question?
In honor of Juneteenth, I was also late.
He was so late. So we're talking about on Dark Holes. Che was talking about a guy that was scamming. Go for it.
In honor of Juneteenth, you're hooking up with a girl who's bigger than you.
A white girl, yeah.
yeah, the white girl that's heavier than you. Perfect.
I can't wait to run the light on this show.
Che was talking about a guy who's under fire legally for airline fraud because he used to be a flight attendant. And if you're a flight attendant, you can fly free on other airlines. And even though he's no longer a flight attendant, he was using his credentials to get free flights. So we were saying, what job would you take on strictly for like the plus sides, like the benefits like that? I said I would love to work at a music venue as like the door person, and you just get to stand there and like watch a bunch of shows.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I live right near Citi Field, so if I hit the Taco Bell late night, especially during the summer concert series, I see the people who are like, I ran into people the other day who were just coming from Post Malone and Jelly Roll, and it's like there was like an older white lady who was like, I had the best time, and like just some black dude who looked like he could not wait to get home. Like, he was having the worst night. That's a very good one. I would do like a smaller venue.
Yeah.
I
said like the Gramercy.
The Gramercy?
Yeah. Or
That's,
what did you say?
I was thinking
Irving Plaza.
That's still I was thinking something like Toad's Place. You know what I mean? Like where it's going to be like, it's going to get rowdy. The band's going to end up in the hot tub at the end.
Right.
Like you're going to have awesome stories with artists who are going to go on to become massive, who are still partying like, You know,
for nobody.
Like the Skanks when I met them in a basement in the creek. You know what I mean? Like it's that level of like fame and like people who are going to, you know, go on to play arenas. Cool. Some of them. That's a very good one. But no, I was gonna say movies. Movie theater has to be. It's like after a while, it's like, you know, you're gonna get sick of seeing the same thing over and over again, probably. But like, I don't know, one of these like little independent art house cinemas, like the Angelica right around the corner from us that has new shit every week. Yeah. Alamo Draft House. Yeah. Alamo Draft House might be the move. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going with that one. The other one, the first one I thought of when you said this, construction worker. Okay. Just because I saw a TikTok yesterday where Charleston White was talking about how like on any construction site, they're definitely breaking some kind of OSHA regulation. So you just figure out what it is, you call it in, and you get a $10,000 reward from OSHA. And then you wait for them to start busting your balls because you're the guy who called OSHA. And then down the line, you can sue them for $20,000 for fucking
workplace harassment.
Workplace harassment. Yeah. This was a fucking hostile workplace because I fucking was a whistleblower. Yeah. I follow the rules. Now you got to be an asshole. That $30,000 is the perk there for working at a construction place for like a month.
Ooh,
that's a pretty good perk.
It's a good one. All good.
Great place to find perks. Yeah.
I was gonna say inspired by Harrington, maybe like DraftKings or a betting website, so you get the skinny on stuff and maybe get to bet in advance.
No,
I don't think you get stuff like that.
Really?
If you work for like a guarantee that's in their terms of service,
that's called insider trading.
Yeah, there's no way they would let
get to do it.
Yeah, because they're politicians, not assholes like us, dude.
What about like work? Okay, so it's funny because
you want to pull up a chair?
No, I gotta go. I have my show, Anxiety Attack. It's too late for this one, but every third Thursday of the month, New York Comedy Club.
Oh yeah.
All right, peace.
Later. I was gonna say it's funny because I've been pulling up all these classic clips.
Right.
And there's one where Rogan, it was when Rogan was on, and they asked him about like, did he bet on the UFC?
Right.
Like, has he ever gotten in trouble for that? And he's like, I used to, and no one said anything. I would probably avoid it now. But, like, they've never strictly told me I couldn't.
Oh, well, then you can feign ignorance.
Yeah. I want to work at a place where I can get the skinny on betting in advance on something.
I like that.
And Harrington would never be able to get the skinny on anything.
Damn, you got perfect timing as he left, as the door shut behind him. What was your other one? TTI? Gonna talk about my boy Tristan?
Yeah, so...
That's my friend. I don't know if he considers me a friend, but I posted the pictures of us at my friend's wedding, and he replies and he goes, I knew you guys were getting married. And I go, bro, we were just talking about you. Because everyone go follow Tristan is a comedian on Instagram and watch his video of the ugly dog that has like 3 million views for some reason.
I'll tell you why he does, because, and this happened when he was in studio, I'll make a joke about, like, hooking up with a girl.
Right.
Which is obviously you.
Right.
And he'll make a reaction like I reference...
Like you're cheating on me?
No, like I reference, like, his stuffed animals fucking. Like, that's the reaction he has. Like, he walked in...
He's like, ew, gross, I don't want to see
stuffed animals fucking, yeah.
He does think of that. He thinks of us that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny. What are you saying about us hooking up in the studio?
It was a joke. I don't remember.
Oh, so it's not like real insider info. It's be like, yeah, I did that last night.
Yeah, or something dumb like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
you can, but I'm not indignant. I would just want to know because I'm nosy.
She's saying that on camera, but she's gonna peg me later.
I'm nosy, and I'm not gonna peg him later.
Your nose is quite small, ma'am.
Thanks.
So on TTI, they were talking about bodybuilders at one point.
Okay.
And I forget how it exactly came up, but the discussion ended up being like, the question was, Shannon, if you were ever with a bodybuilder that was so jacked that he could not wipe his own ass,
would you wipe it for him?
Would you wipe his ass for him?
What did she say?
Would you help a dude wipe his ass? He's so big.
Okay, so
wealthy, rich, taking care of all your bills, everything. beautiful, but he just can't wipe his ass.
It's a weird thing if he can never wipe his ass. If he had a bodybuilding industry,
if it was like
injury,
a preference,
if he had a bodybuilding injury where he's like, oh babe, just this one time I like tore my lat or something.
It's my birthday, please.
It's Juneteenth. Can you wipe my ass?
Shannon, I popped my shoulder out again. Can you help me? Bring the dude wipes.
She would say only if this was as a result of an injury, but I would not do it long term, like as a regular thing.
I think that's a good answer. If you're like, hey, I fucked up my back, I can't reach for the next month, I think that's reasonable. However, bidets exist. Did they give a caveat against bidets?
Well, yeah, but I mean, all right. Well, I'll give the caveat then. There's no, you have to.
Then I agree with Shannon.
Wow, original answer.
I think she was right. You're right. I didn't think of it. Yeah, probably. Although I'm not interested in a man who's so jacked that he can't reach his own ass. That's not my type.
Well, okay. So the question is modified to, if you had the perfect man.
You sound like my mother. My mom always used to be like, if I had a pimple on my ass and I would die unless you popped it for me, would you do it? And I'd be like, yeah, mother. Of course I would do that. That's who you sound like right now.
All right. Well, this is about relationships and what sacrifices you're willing to make rather than just...
I remembered something that I was going to talk about on Zoo
once.
that's relevant to relationships. Yeah, I guess I would. I guess I would. I don't really care. Although sometimes they're gross.
Yeah, what if it's a doozer?
That sucks. I would suggest a shower. Bend over, ass up to the shower. Rinse that shit out.
Okay, so that's not against the rules, so you would find alternative methods of making sure their butt is clean.
Yes, probably. This ties into Zoo, actually, something I was going to talk about from the same episode of Morning Zoo that I talked about, where he says that he and his wife broke a lot of like barriers like that really early because they got food poisoning together on their like 5th date. Or her 5th time sleeping over or whatever.
Yeah.
And they talk about, I mean, I don't know. We don't have to talk about this if it's too personal for you to put on this episode. But like shitting in the same bathroom while your girl's in the shower, etc. I feel like a pee is fine. I'm like, probably don't shit while I'm in the shower. So it's all steamy. And it like fills the room, you know?
Well, I like to conserve water and shit in the shower with her.
That he's lying because he's on camera.
He's
showing off for the audience.
Yeah. I'm showing off how much I like to conserve energy. That's what I'm bragging about. That's the brag.
True. I feel like we're both okay with the one of us is peeing, but the other one's in the shower. But don't poop. That's gross.
I mean, if there's only one bathroom and you have to go, I'm not going to be like, no.
I would probably hold it unless it was really an emergency, in which case I might even be like, get out of the shower. I might be like, wrap it up.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I do that to my roommate. That's never happened with a shit before, but like, if I really have to pee, if it's like the morning and she's in the shower, I'll be like, I don't think that I've been in a situation where I'm like, can I pee while she's in the shower? But if I can tell that she like just ended the shower and I have to pee, I don't wait until she comes out. I'll knock and be like, hey, can you get out of there? And she's like, yeah.
That's fair. But I don't think I would wipe the perfect woman.
Even using my loophole?
No.
Damn.
I don't play that shit.
Pun intended.
I don't think I could do it.
Even for like a month? Even injury, like Shannon's caveat?
No.
Why not?
Why would I?
Who do you want to do it instead?
Her gay best friend.
Also, then you're not gonna.
He likes button.
Then you're not. Then you're not gonna fuck her for that time.
Fine. Gross. I can't. I have an aversion.
That's fair.
And that's why I am a virgin.
We've never had sex.
No.
I kind of feel that way about puke. I had to
You're in for it, sister, because I do not handle hangovers well.
My brother in Christ, we did this already. We've experienced this already.
I know, I'm just saying buckle up because it's not stopping.
Don't you want to stop drinking?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make
Eventually.
I didn't mean to make it sad. So I only got to deal with it for a little while.
Yeah, I do not when I die. No,
but
kidding,
I recall that your birthday. I recall you same almost like a combination of all factors here. My roommate was in the bathroom and you couldn't get to the bathroom, so you had to puke in the kitchen garbage, and I put the pillows over my head. I stayed in my bed and I put the pillows over my head while you puked in the garbage right outside of my door.
Yeah.
And you weren't actually puking, you were just going you sounded like my cat.
I have no aversion to puke.
I have a healthy aversion to poop, but not in the same way that you do, where you would not wipe my ass even if I was incapacitated.
You can eat, hypothetically, you can eat puke and not get sick.
That's, where the fuck did you get that from?
If you eat poop, you could die. But
if you eat puke, you would probably die too.
Puke is fine.
Where are you getting this information? Who
'Cause
the fuck told you that?
it's
Who told you that? Where are you getting this information from?
it's just second lunch.
It came out of you because you were sick. If you have a stomach bug, that's going to somebody else.
Sterile.
I think it's even been debunked that pee is sterile. I think that's been debunked.
Well, they never debunked how good it tastes.
Can we move on? What else were we talking about before this? TTI bodybuilder getting wiped. Oh, you said they talked about the fight. What's his roommate's name? What's his partner? Sorry, not his roommate. What's his co-host name?
Daniel Bridgegad. I was not going to bring this up on the show.
Then why did you tell it to me last night we got to talk about this show? We can cut this.
The question that I gave you.
Oh, I thought you were we got to talk about TTI. They addressed the fight.
Oh, no, I was just telling you that.
Oh, whatever. Okay. Well, I'll go watch the episode. I'll leave this in. It's not like we're airing info that was not on air. But we don't have to talk about it. Anyway, I have the regs.
Let's talk about it. This is a good way to go out on a bang.
Didn't you have one more? I guess that's 5. On the regs this week, they were talking about Boston. And I love Boston because I went to school there. I'm surprised they didn't play that at the wedding. I feel like that's the song that they play. That's like a crowd pleaser song. This is just a funny story that I thought was really great. Was that Lewis said that he's taking his son to Boston, and all the Boston guys in the room were giving him recommendations of stuff to do. And they did mention the aquarium, which was very cool, and the science museum.
I've never been, but Joe List said that it's a world. He said it's a world-renowned children's museum or whatever.
I had obviously not been to the children's museum because I was 18 when I
There's
moved
no
to
such
Boston.
thing as a world-renowned children's museum.
Certainly there is. I'm sure there is. I've never heard of it. But they said it about the
Please Touch Museum counts then.
But is it world-renowned?
I would say the Please Touch Museum is pretty well known as a Philadelphia landmark for children.
Cool. That's nice. Well, and it rivals Boston, I guess.
It's literally a museum where they ask you to please touch things.
No shit, genius. I kind of gathered that from what you said of it.
And it's what I say to you every night. Please, can I touch?
Not even please touch, please touch me.
Yeah. Please touch.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. I like that they mentioned the Science Museum because the Science Museum is really cool. But I really liked Lewis's story about how he was going to take his son to Dick's Last Resort but not tell him.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't occur to me at first how funny that is because it's Lewis.
Yeah.
Until they started going into it.
I want to bring him to Dick's Last Resort, and I'm not going to tell him
That's so
what it
fun.
is. And he knows me, so they're going to be like, hey, what's going on? Grab a fucking seat anywhere, idiot. And Jim's going to be like,
Hey, can I talk to you real quick? Can you not do that to my dad? Hey, I kind of understand the premise of the
James
restaurant because he's smart. He goes, I walked in and I could kind of pick up what the premise of the restaurant is. You don't want to do that to my
James
dad.
is going to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is funny.
I thought that
Like,
was
please,
great.
no, sir. You don't understand.
And I liked that Dan was like, I'm sure James would be like, I get what's going on here, but like, you don't want to do that to my dad. He gets really upset. I think that's adorable and a great story. There were a lot of really good ones on
That's
this.
how I feel about my
Oh.
dad.
I liked that they mentioned the duck boats and the whale watching
The
thing.
whale story
and I
was
liked,
incredible.
And I loved Dan's whale noises. I picked up on it before where they're like, what is that? The whale sound? And I was like, yeah, that's the sound of the water of the whale hitting the boat.
Okay. Dan's whale noise or Joe's elephant?
That was during my tenure on the show, wasn't it? With the elephant.
It's been every episode.
Really? Yeah, I
It's
kind
been
of stopped watching.
every episode.
I really liked the whale noise and that it added a comedic effect to the story, which would be only marginally funny without it, I think.
Whereas Joe is kind of
He's like, here,
inserting
I
it
can
in-
do an elephant.
Yeah. He also talked shit on all of us, by the way. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch the beginning of the episode.
This was towards the end where he
Oh.
was like,
I only caught
I was
middle.
the only one that went to your Memorial Day barbecue last year, and it looked like a homeless station with the Gas Digital employees. It looked like a homeless shelter.
I mean, it did.
He was like, I couldn't, I did not want to interact with those cretins. Like he was trashing us.
I think it's conventional to say that there's just a bunch of homeless people that work here. I was his producer at that point.
Yeah,
So he knew who I was.
I know. I was just offended.
Yeah, you should be offended. I wasn't offended because I think I was great.
I also might have weirded him out.
Why did you wear it? What were you asking him? With
I
his
wasn't
baby.
asking him
He had a
anything.
fresh baby. That baby was fresh at that barbecue.
Yeah. It was either that one or the one before. I was just like, dude, you're so funny.
Aw, that's
Like,
cute.
I felt like I was pestering him about like telling him he was funny.
There wasn't a Memorial Day barbecue this year.
No.
No one did it.
I still
Shit.
need to see Big J's new house.
I do too. I've also never seen it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice. Cute. 4th of July is coming up. You got any plans?
No, do you?
No. I say this every year. 4th of July is the only holiday that I feel bad not having plans on.
We should sit on a damp blanket in New Jersey and
No,
watch.
I gotta cut that.
In
I'm gonna put bars and tone. My favorite thing to do.
Newark, New Jersey, and watch mid fireworks.
Yeah. We
It would
should.
be more fun if it was the
You were
cherry
with me last
blossom.
year. We went to, okay, last year we went to I was in my town and I missed you, and you were supposed to be with cool people, but they argued the whole time, and then a couple days later we went to the Cheesecake Factory and you told me about it.
Where was this?
Last year you hung out with your friends, but they were super late.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Josh, Adam Myers, and Jay got in a fight.
Yes.
And you like left early or something.
Yes. And then that was.
I
Oh,
missed you.
wow.
And I remember I was with my friends during the fireworks. And the fireworks were about to end. Because I talked about how you had plans in the city and like my college friends had other plans. And the fireworks were almost over. And Dan was like, do you regret not going to the city? And I was like, no, not really. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I usually wish I was drunker on the 4th of July. 4th of July is the one holiday where I'm like tempted into alcoholism.
What's the what?
Because there's nothing actually fun about watching fireworks.
Sure.
Controversial take, but like it's one of those things where like I love Christmas even if I'm not drinking. 4th of July, I'm like there's a bunch of so I feel like I'm at a rave, but the music sucks. a bunch of hot, sweaty people who are also drunk, squished around.
Is that 4th of July?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it's my town people walking through the streets pressed together.
Oh.
And you get like a sausage and peppers sandwich for like $20.
What's what would you say is the most, like, you know, Cinco de Mayo is like tequila. What's the 4th of July drink?
Jello shots.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not like Sam Adams?
Maybe it's Sam Adams. For some reason, no, you're right. Sam Adams is probably more correct. But for some reason, I associate the 4th of July with hard liquor and sweet garbage. Like wine cool, like a blue wine cooler. Although that's not very strong. But you know what I mean. Like sweet, syrupy bull. Something that looks like a bomb pop.
Oh.
Like a rocket pop.
Oh.
Whatever. I'm wrong. It's fine. I really should learn to go to bed at 11 p.m. on the 4th of July and not feel bad about it.
Ooh, what about like a whiskey?
I don't want to drink
or a
whiskey.
bourbon.
No, I don't want to drink dark liquor when it's hot out.
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't want to drink dark liquor when it's hot out.
What does it do versus a light liquor?
It's heavy. It's like drinking red wine in the summer.
Oh, I thought it was like all the heat from the sun absorbs in your tummy and then you get all warm.
No, I mean, back me up in the chat. That's a known thing that people like. To me, I'm like, you know, a margarita is a summer drink and a old fashioned is a winter drink.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Ooh.
Right?
Dude, what about like one of the you mentioned bomb pop and the not the sangria, whatever, Seagrams or whatever the fuck. What about the hard slushies?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, we have a couple weeks before the 4th of July, but we got to come up with something fun to do. It's actually a good time to go into the city because most people are out of the city.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do something here, but if not, we'll do something in Rutherford, New Jersey.
Passaic.
In Passaic, New Jersey.
What'd you think of the I'm Not Your Manager story?
I'm serious. I only caught the stuff about Boston, and when I realized that I had a question for the show, I stopped listening.
It was the first thing it was before the Boston thing.
I caught it when Bobby was ending the story that Lewis said was false. That's where I caught it. So it was like probably 25 minutes in, something like that.
Well, yeah. Anyway, what a fun week that we just recapped.
It's been a good week that we just recapped.
I think that this could be called Gas Digital Now, the Gas Digital wrap-up show.
Indeed. You should subscribe to Gas Digital Now on YouTube. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please do. If you are subscribed, but you want to get these episodes fresh, early, and at a slight discount, go to gasdigital.com and use code NOW for a slight discount on your membership. We're rolling out a new and improved website very, very soon. Follow me at Natalie DeChico Edits on Instagram. Mike?
Follow the Gas Digital accounts at Gas Digital on Instagram and Twitter, and at Gas Digital Network on YouTube. We're posting classic clips, as I said earlier. Also, please keep recommending classic moments that I might have forgotten about that I should clip, because that is actually very helpful, and I would love to highlight some of your favorites as well.
That's a good feeling if you suggest one and then Mike ends up going with it.
Yeah. And maybe I'll even post the comment of the recommendation at the end card.
Cute.
I think that's pretty easy.
It's a good idea.
All right. Well, follow me at That Blind Mike, and I think that's it. That's the show, fellas.
Later, everyone. As I would say.
Well, you would say that because you're lying on camera always.
What's lying about saying later, fellas?
I was just referencing the theme of the episode.